Then comes g5, full on attack on the king side, and this is where the pressure really starts building. You can see Pragnanda don't want castling. He does not even care about his king position. He is like straightforward attack. Hey, what's up chess fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a monster game from the 2026 FIDE Candidates Tournament, round 10. We have got Javakhi Sindarov versus Pragnanda R. This match is a wild ride with sharp tactics, fierce attacks, and enough mind-blowing moves to keep you at your edge of your seat. Well, let's break this down. Let's get started. Sindarov plays d4, the queen's pawn opening, and Pragnanda responds with knight f6. Pragnanda's response to one of the standard opening moves. Anyways, c4, and Sindarov is like, I'm taking the control of the center. Pragnanda responds with e6, setting up strong and flexible position by developing the bishop, focusing on each side of the board, looking for castling and some sort of center attack. Now here, knight f3 from Sindarov, just a classic knight move. Pragnanda got his own plans through d5, and now it's on. Battle for the center is real. Well, Sindarov develops his knight c3, reinforcing his pawn structure by overpressurizing the central pawn. Also, knight to d7 is what Pragnanda strike with. With this move, he is blocking the queen as a protection for this pawn, right? Well, the main plan is to go on with c5 if white plays some favorable moves. Otherwise, he could try for developing his pieces. The main plan is all about c5, b6, bishop a6 or bishop b7. That's his choice. Well, here, bishop moves to f4, enjoying the game by developing pieces, eyeing the center. Well, here comes bishop b4. Now Pragnanda is like, knight is a good attacker towards this. So he just created some disability, that is making the knight paralyzed. He can also look for castling, and this is the main plan. Now here, after bishop to b4, comes c-take on d5. Sindarov is like, I don't accept any kind of bishop nonsense. So he just eliminated the pawn. Now, let me tell you, the best move in this position is e-take d5 instead of knight take on d5. Many players would prefer knight take on d5 in the sense that knight is attacking this, attacking the bishop, and the bishop also supporting it. Well, here white can easily play bishop d2, and then they are also going to develop pieces. So this must never be your plan. Okay, you must always capture the center from the pawn instead of knights. Now here, black is like, he has completed his development, yet he forgot that white is also developing pieces, and that's the only disadvantage. Here, white can look for queen c2, can look for e4, can grab the center even better than what black is having. So that's the reason many grandmasters, they go with capturing from the pawn. Now after e-take on d5, it opens the game. Basically this file you can see. Yeah, this is where the fun begins. e3. Sindarov tries to solidify the center by adding protection, by developing the most powerful bishop. Now here comes knight to e4, an excellent move. The best move if we talk about is a very simple move, castling. Even better c6, protecting, Cause protection is more important than attacking. Now here, knight comes to e4. Pragnanda is an always been an attacking player. So he plays knight e4. He jumps his knight. He is like, knight will jump here, can even protect this. I can also develop my bishop and all. So this is what Pragnanda is planning. Here, the knight is attacking this knight with the bishop also creating pain. Now in this position, since we can observe the pressure knight is holding is equal to a woman getting pregnant. Here, queen moves to c2, and now white can understand, like white king can feel how pregnancy is like. So he just play queen to c2. Now here, queen moves to c2. What's the main logic? Well, in this position there are two main reasons for playing queen c2. Okay, in fact 3 reasons. Well, first reason is basically overpressurizing attack, opening this diagonal and protecting it. Second reason is to open up the king for long castling. And the third reason that I wanted to say was basically bishop e3, which will support the attack and queen will be protecting it. So indirectly white can try a3. Okay, now this third reason is not compulsory. So that's why I would like to hide it. Well, here, queen moves to c2. Then comes g5, a full-on attack on the king side, and this is where the pressure really starts building. You can see Pragnanda don't want castling. He does not even care about his king position. He is like straightforward attack. g5. Now g5 is a very interesting move played. Okay, and that's the best move. Okay, that's the best move. Now, why is that the best move? Well, the reason is very simple. You can look at this bishop. Bishop cannot go there, cannot go here, cannot come here. Why? Why not here? Because he can play f6. Otherwise, he can go with knight take. Now, knight take is something which I would prefer. You know why? Because bishop will be developed on a very simple reason. So here, what white can do is take the bishop backward. And don't forget, knight is attacking it. But Pragnanda will not capture it. Why? Because the knight is attacking this. So by chance the bishop is forcefully getting removed. Then he can go for this. Now here, in this position, the most shocking move played by black was h5. Now you might be saying, how is that shocking? Well, and it's a best move, not an inaccuracy. It's not inaccuracy also. It's the best move. The move which had to be played. Well, to all the beginners and the intermediate level players watching my video, you all might be wondering, what about the center? What about the piece development, which he is missing, right? Now here, actually the point is, if you evaluate, these are all logical moves, not forcing. These are all logical moves. These are all not developing moves, not forcing moves, but logical moves. Basically, it is going to have impact later on in the game. Okay, so that's a clear understanding. For now, his plan is to trap the bishop, right? This is what you all can see. But in actual, what is the plan? Basically, white is one move before bishop d3 and castling. So Pragnanda created pawn storm. Now white can, if white short castle, that's very risky. And also the long castling is also risky. You know, this file is open. This was the masterpiece of Pragnanda. And these are all logical moves. So if you are a beginner or intermediate level, it might be difficult for you to find these kind of moves. Bishop moves to d3. And Sindarov develops his bishop, defending his position. But Pragnanda not having it. So here, after h5 comes h4. Attacking the bishop. And here comes bishop take on e4. So comes pawn take it. Well, what will happen if he just take this? Okay, what will happen? Like, why? What's happening? Well, so whatever will happen is bishop take d5. At last, here black can, if black tries some kind of moves like pawn take on it, giving some check, then queen can take on it, and that's a very easy position. You know, knight can jump there, or can go with sacrifices and take checkmate and all. Okay. Otherwise, if we just capture this pawn, well, so if we capture this pawn, then here the simple move is rook take on h2, right? Supported by the knight. Anyways, these are all very simple moves. Now, Pragnanda obviously is a grandmaster, a very good player. He continues with the best move, d take on e4. And then Sindarov is like calculating, thinking, and he plays queen take on e4. Check. Now comes another logical move. Once again, to all the beginners and intermediate level players. If you look at the developing moves, I'll say, many of you would say queen e7. Right? Queen e7. Let us go with queen e7. What will happen is, after queen e7, queen take e7, bishop take it, then can bishop take on c7. Like this, a pawn is gained, and also, like, bishop can move back, knight can jump there, can attack, and look forward, folks. So this is one of the masterpiece of Sindarov against Pragnanda. And now Pragnanda continues with the best move, king f8. Now this is the very shocking move. Like, what about the king's safety? What about its castling right? Right to castling is gone. Anyways, he does not care about his fundamental rights, which originated from America. Anyways, here comes bishop to e5. Actually, white cannot expect to control the center and all. And now, what's the best move here? f6. White plays any move. Any move. Black is going to be better. The evaluation bar is going to be down. Okay. Showing that black is winning. Instead of one move, which can take minus 0.08 to 0.0. And that move was knight take on g5. And exactly, Sindarov is the grandmaster. He found out this move. Almost 11 minutes spent by white so that he could make his position to neutral. You are understanding? Well, now let me explain this. Why? What is the logic behind this? Why this? Well, the pawn take it, bishop take it. The pawn take this. Okay. So the pawn take on bishop. Knight moves c6, give a check, and queen is eliminated. Clear? So this was the mid plan. Now knight take on g5, and then comes bishop take on c3, check. Now he is sacrificing a piece to create some chaos. B takes c3, Sindarov recaptures, and Pragnanda plays knight take on e5. More pawns are being taken. But this game is far from over. D take on e5. Now black is capturing the knight, and then comes f4. Sindarov start pushing his pawns, kingside pawns, and Pragnanda fight back with h3. Now this guy just does not stop. He is pushing the pawn like it is his last chance. You know, to prove himself that he is a man. Anyways, here comes rook to d1. Queen moves to e7. g3. G take f4. Castling. And finally, Sindarov shows that he is a man. He just castled. Well, the main reason is the pin. So he can capture this, can create a beautiful pawn structure. Right? This is what Sindarov was planning. Now here, Rook moves to x6. Pragnanda is like pushing the rooks. Rook take on f4 check, king moves g8, rook to d1, bishop to d7. Now this move was a blunder. Bishop to d7 was a blunder. Well, what was the best move? The best move was bishop e6. Just moving the bishop one step forward. Anyways, now here Sindarov took his opportunity, playing rook to f7. And at last the queen is under attack. Well, what is the main plan? Why? What is happening? So the queen moves anywhere. Then what will happen is he will play the rook here. Forcefully trade the rooks if possible. Suppose this is what is going to be played. Rook g6 check. Queen has to take. Otherwise, if the king moves there, then e6, checkmate, unstoppable. So this was the plan. Rook f7, and then what actually happened? Pragnanda had to sacrifice his queen. So comes queen take on f7. Rook take on f7. King take on f7. Queen f4 check. Now Sindarov is hunting down Pragnanda's king. Well, this check is coming from everywhere. King g7, and now king is like desperate move, playing desperate move just to stay alive. Queen g5 check, check again. And now Pragnanda runs to king x7. He is running out of space. Another check. King moves to g8. Queen take on d7. Now Sindarov captures on d7. He is like the game has been decided up to the end. Pragnanda tries to hold on, but rook f8 does not change anything. Queen g4 check. King moves h8, a4. And Sindarov is like making fun, solidifying his position. a5. Pragnanda is also holding on, but Sindarov is making moves one by one. Queen g5. More checks, more pressure. Here, rook moves to x7. Pragnanda is hanging on, but it's a matter of time. Now Pragnanda having only 14 minutes. Like from 1 hour 51 minutes to 14 minutes. Well, here, e6 is what is going to be played. Sindarov is pushing pawns forward. Rook to e8. Pragnanda tries to fight back, and the end is near. Queen take a5, b6, queen e5 check. The checks are taking place in the game. Queen to f5, and Pragnanda is like trying his best to attack the pieces to gain some material and all. Well, Sindarov is like, I am going to give 0 opportunities for that. And Sindarov pushes the pawns forward, gives a lot of checks, does not give Pragnanda the time to think, and that's the reason Pragnanda went from 14 minutes to 34 minutes due to increment. So x4, rook a5. Now you can see Pragnanda is being trying just to create it a draw. Winning is far off, but let's just shake hands and create a draw. Anyways, queen x6, rook e5, queen x7 check, king f8, and the game continues with queen h8 check, king moves, e4, b5, h5, c5, and finally Pragnanda resigns the game here. Well, what a game! Pragnanda played 2 super logical moves. The best move which helped Pragnanda to create a position better for black. But at last he just made one blunder which is responsible for this, which has happened in the game. Anyways, here, this was a tactical masterpiece from Sindarov. Right? Pragnanda fought violently, but in the end, Sindarov, relentless pressure, just broke through. We saw everything here. Sharp tactics, logical moves, sacrifices, pawn storms, and the checkmate grind. Anyways, drop a comment below. What did you think? Was this the greatest pawn storm you have ever seen? Or was Sindaro precision your favorite part? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash the like button, subscribe for more chess goodness, and share it with your chess loving friends, your relatives, your neighbors, your parents, your upcoming future kids. Share them to all. And until next time, keep your pawn sharp and your king safe. We'll meet you in the next one.